They don't decide the election. The call for Joe Biden is it? Who was it called by?
That Smartmatic owns Dominion. How do you justify such a basic factual error?
I'm going to stop this interview. It's wholly inappropriate in the litigation that we're in.
But we're not even in the area of great dispute. These are the simple facts of who owns what.
No, we're done.
This is an elite strike force team that is working on behalf of the president and the campaign to make sure that our Constitution is protected.
Georgia's probably going to be the first state I'm going to blow up, and Mr. Kemp and the Secretary of State need to go with it.
They didn't bother to interview a single witness. Just like you, they don't want to know the truth.
The Kraken was never really released, if it ever existed. But if it did, it's dead now, because some of the independent legal challenges to the election, those that are not like formally a part of Donald Trump's legal team, people like Sidney Powell, she has lost her final lawsuit, I think. This is Sidney Powell. And last night, a judge in Wisconsin dismissed her fourth and final lawsuit. Because in addition to the more than 50 lawsuits that the Trump legal team has been involved in, this like independent lawyer who has nothing to do with anything has waged multiple legal battles across the country. A US judge has just ruled that Lin Wood and Sidney Powell, the pro-Trump attorneys who sued Michigan officials over false claims they broke state election law and manipulated the vote, will have to pay the defendant's legal fees and face sanctions over unethical behavior. And the judge was not having any of their BS. This is Linda V. Parker said, Powell and Wood had engaged in a historic and profound abuse of the judicial process. Their claims made against Gretchen Whitmer, the city of Detroit, and state election officials were not just flimsy and unfounded, alleging a massive and implausible conspiracy to steal the election, but actively harmful. She says this case was never about fraud. It was about undermining the people's faith in our democracy and debasing the judicial process to do so. And so as a result of this order, it grants the defendant's motion for unspecified sanctions, instructs the attorneys to pay any fees incurred by their litigation, and instructs the lawyers to complete at least 12 hours of legal education within the next 6 months on election law and pleading standards. The order also refers them for potentially further disciplinary action.
We're done. I'm sorry.
These are facts.
When we are in litigation against me personally,
I understand that,
but we're billions.
Yes, I understand that these are very serious allegations.
Thank you very much.
But these are also,
as an example of how nonsensical their case was, Parker provided numerous instances of what she termed legal abuse. In one example, the lawyers claimed to have evidence that votes were changed by election workers. Asked for evidence, they presented an affidavit from a woman who said only that, quote, I believe some of these workers were changing votes. Asked if that woman had actually seen it, quote, the court was met with silence. Well, come on, I could do that. Like, hire me as your lawyer. Why are you getting people that technically went to law school to do this nonsense?